Hi, I'm Allison with the El Dorado Arts Council. We're here today at the Fossil House Gallery for the Patchwork Sierra Show. It's an exhibition in collaboration with our local quilt guild, the Goldbug Quilters. These beautiful quilts are commemorating the beauty and history of El Dorado County, and it's in part of the Gold Week activities celebrating the 2016 World Gold Panning Championships. Some of these quilts, actually all of these quilts, are handmade, and this one in particular was quilted by Inger Blood, but then she collaborated with another artist to paint it. So you'll see some of the painting structure in it, which was painted by Catherine Martinelli. And all of these quilts were quilted and designed particularly for this show that again is in collaboration with Gold Week and all of the wonderful activities surrounding the World Gold Panning Championships that are held here in Placerville. So we're very excited to have this quilt. In addition to the quilts you see, every Tuesday at 2 we have our very first poet laureate of El Dorado County, Taylor Graham, who she oversees a poetry group, and some of the poetry group did a little activity where they were inspired by the quilts and wrote wonderful poems to collaborate with the quilts. So there was a number of poets that wrote about the different quilts, and we just think it's a fabulous way to showcase the different types of arts that are used here in Placerville, whether it's textiles or poetry or literature and even the performing arts. So we definitely try to showcase all of the arts, and we always promote all of the arts here in El Dorado County.
Welcome to the Fountain Tallman Soda Works. My name is Beth Thellman. I'm a docent here volunteering once a week for the El Dorado County Historical Society. The building at 524 Main Street, Placerville, was built in 1852 for the purpose of providing drinking water for the miners. The men who owned the property realized they weren't making their fortune panning for gold, but there were springs seeping water through the hillside. So they had the building built of mining rubble and began selling drinking water to the miners. There's a hole in the wall, which is where the spring water was piped through and then pumped through a soda water machine similar to what is on display. The water was flavored with a little flavoring, not alcohol. Not everybody wanted to drink alcohol. And we're lucky enough to have some bottles on display. These are bottles that would have been sold to the miners during the gold rush. The drinking water in Placerville was fouled because of mining, bathing, and laundry, so the water in Hangtown Creek wasn't good to drink. There wasn't a glassworks in California until 1859, so our bottles were blown and formed by a glassworks in New Jersey, shipped around the Horn, and then brought by wagon to Placerville. One of the bottles was found intact by one of our docents. It's slightly discolored from being in the ground. The other two were recently purchased on the internet. If you're a bottle collector, these are blob top bottles. They have an extra blob of glass at the neck, the most fragile part of the bottle. It also allowed the contents to be bottled and capped under pressure, much like our champagne is today. A cork and then a wire bail was put on the bottle. We don't know from research how much they charged for the bottles, but there was a box to recycle, and then over there in the corner there's an example of leaf bottles.
Hi, welcome. I'm Sandy Kowalski. I'm a member of the El Dorado Historical Society and a member of the Fountain Tallman Museum. We're going to tell you a little bit about one of our famous ancestors, John Studebaker. He came here for the gold, just like everybody else from around the world came here. He soon found out that he could make more money making wheelbarrows. And that is what he made his money on. And a few years later, he went back to his home in Indiana, where his other four brothers were, and they made Conestoga wagons for the war. And so about that time then, the car came out.
Our building is on the National Register of Historic Places. It looks kind of new inside for an old building. The interior was repointed 2 years ago by a masonry contractor out of Volcano, California. We feel very lucky to have this beautiful building. It's much quieter and cleaner, easier to take care of because of the repointing. And we're very grateful for donations which help us maintain the building.